Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a bit of WARNO League action, as I'm once more joined by the lovely Chloride, and we're in here for a lot of Division 2 today, as we have the quarterfinals coming up here, and the first one is between two highly controversial members of the community, as they have strong opinions and strong plays, Fortitude fans and Stardeck in front of us. So,
Yes.
yeah,
Not necessarily strong enough to be in Division One, but strong enough to contest for the prize of getting in the season, getting to Division One, right?
Yeah, exactly. Whoever makes it through here is automatically into Division 1 next season. And uh, as the top four of each division go up. And that is a pretty interesting price here. Also, the setup here already quite interesting. 27th is Start Standard Go-To division with a lot of standard start here with double AA and some BMP3s. And then 42 fans bringing in 24th here. And that opener looks quite interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think what's going on here is that Fortitude Fence got 11th ACA band, got a 3rd armored band, maybe a 8th infantry band, and then just going down the list to 24th. 24th is an American mechanized division, does have Apaches, does have good amount of air, does have Eagles, Strike Eagles, does not have A-10s, and can't really mass cheap bombers, has to rely on either the kind of second-rate Phantoms as dive bombers, or not the good ones, not the HE2s, but the HE1s, or just deal with price targets with the Strike Eagle. Now, as a counter against the cousin division of 24th, the 27th actually works out pretty badly, because even though 27th has a lot of high-tech anti-air weaponry, such as the Thors that are being brought out here, and Tunguskas and the best Strelas, the high accuracy, close range heat-seeking anti-air, none of that is actually good at countering high-flying aircraft, and the Strike Eagles are high-flying aircraft. Now, they're extremely good at countering helicopters, and helicopters seems to be what Fortitude Fence is betting the opener here. There is even a UH-1 supply to immediately frontline resupply the Apaches when they fired their rockets, or all of their Hellfires here, and the amount of NG scouts in these machine gun trucks also obviously signals that this is going to be a take good positions with recon, go find the enemy with the Kiowas, and then have the Apaches go and try to trade up. The 24th has a very good ability to fortify, because they have a massed amount of Bradleys, and they can fast reinforce troops with the aero rifles. Even though they don't get the Black Hawks, they have to take the slower and more dangerous helicopters, the Hueys. But despite this, if this opener actually manages to get some crucial kills, manages to take some of these 27th very expensive units, such as the 90-point BMP3s, or even a T80, or a bunch of these 135-point Tors, even though that's very unlikely, that would allow the slower, heavily armed Bradleys to take these positions and start defending in the long game. Now, what do you think about the Stardeck? Of course, Stardeck is a competent player. Stardeck plays mech. Doesn't really have that many tricks up his sleeve, if he allows me to say that. And Fortitude Fence opening with 2 ASF here. Obviously, Fortitude Fence is playing the expected tactics. So, how do you think Stardeck's counter to this very obvious air rush is going to work out here?
Well, the helicopter AA is good. What is really curious is how Static deploys insanely heavily into Delta, which is like absolutely contrary to the meta, which is fighting Alpha, Bravo, and the middle town, and then being relatively weak on Charlie and Delta. And Static says, like, I completely go against that, and that could throw the enemy off guard here. With no rear line zones in the northern part of the map anymore, the southern part with the 2+2 rear zones is a lot more interesting nowadays. But you can still gain a lot out of having Charlie and Delta, and then being able to force the enemy to be aggressive towards Bravo. We will see how that goes. Igla coming around here now against the Apaches, which have taken the middle zone. And yeah, at the same time, the Tors and the BMP3s and the Strellas moving around in the north. The National Guard there will get overwhelmed. And yeah, we have the first Phantoms coming out. HE bombing the Igla, maybe a bit overkill, but it should get out alive, so it's not the biggest of problems.
Yeah, the first rule of air rushing is to target the enemy AA so that your air snowball can keep growing. Air, if you put planes against anti-air, the anti-air will trade better because that's what it's supposed to do. But if you can take out the first anti-air units before there's a critical mass of them, so that the number of your planes is always going to be relatively higher than the number of the number of the anti-air systems. When Stardek goes by Shalom here, well, Stardek's short range only 3,500 meter range with these Thors means that there has to be a number of them out here to be able to shoot them down. But fortunately, they do have very good accuracy, and flying right above the Thors do actually get a kill here with a wild weasel moving up and picking out one of the Thors before the other one shuts down its radar. Two more Thors coming, one down the range, and another one being ordered here, and a MiG-29 taking out the Apache, the National Guard Apache. Only maximum of two of those, so every Apache that gets lost is 50% of the whole count of Apaches here. Of course, there could be Cobras out. I think Cobras out later. I think that Stardek taking the positions up north is kind of understanding and metagaming this, knowing that Fortitude Fence is going to have to invest very lightly into recon to have targets, to have spotters for the aircraft, and the aircraft are very expensive. So just taking the Stardek knows that the southern side can be fought over, but the northern side really can't be fought over if it's taken this powerfully in the early game. Especially like that, you can't. There is too many buildings. You can't just bomb it with aircraft eternally. It's not going to work.
Yeah, it's a good strategy for sure. Fortitude fans losing one of the Apaches, Tor coming around for the second one, getting a good hit there with the first missile. And yeah, Fortitude fans playstyle for all the OG fans out here really reminds me of Corbo in Steel Division Normandy 44. Just throwing airplanes and everything and doing that really well, but it can backfire for sure. It looks really frustrating. I know a lot of people in the community have a bit of PTSD when it comes to facing air spam like this. It always feels unfair. It always feels annoying. But let's see what Static can do against it. So far, Static playing really decently here. The position of Static in the north is absolutely solid. Gets the Strike Eagle here with the high, or the Eagle here with the high level accuracy Tor well microed. The Tor now under fire will go down most likely. Yeah, the Dragon gets it killed in the end. But an Eagle for Tor is a trait that Static should be fine with. So next Tor already comes up. He just needs to keep that number of Tor coming up. And Fortitude fans, real predictable here. Not really straying away from this playstyle. And Static already on a +2, as Fortitude fans didn't even get for a single capture point yet. Will go up even higher soon when the BTR 80 connects to the northern part of the map. And at that point, the +4 tick will be a real timer here on Fortitude fans play.
Yeah, the horse blinder effect of going only to aircraft, or only trying to play the trademark tactic of Fortitude Fence, which is to, some would say, kind of try to abuse the mechanics, try to bet on the fact that you win with a couple of dice rolls. Your enemy forgets to turn off their radar, a bit too something like this happens, and this allows the air snowball to go up here, start going up. The 27th air tab is reasonably weak. I believe it's maximum of 4 air supremacy fighters, and 2 of those are MiG-29s, 2 of those are MiG-23 MLDs. So Shalom here can't really start spamming aircraft to counter this, and you shouldn't spam aircraft. Phantom 2s and Eagles are very good air supremacy fighters, even though they're of course very expensive. And No, the Taurs do not get the kill there and don't even get a hit. And really, the really Stardeck is forced here to try to play a real game against this. And now 7 minutes in, we're seeing the first Bradleys come out with surprisingly the very spammable but pretty weak National Guard Stingers being brought out, and the amazing powerful National Guard's ITO cars also being brought out. So the most efficient missile units coming out from Fortitude Defense. But really, at this point, I do think Stardeck should maybe go on the offensive. The Stardeck is just waiting here for their enemy to resupply,
Well,
and for the bombers
I don't think he
start
has
reloading.
enough ground units, AA units to go on the offensive though. Like, thing is, currently the enemy doesn't see anything, and every bomber that tries to bomb something has to go deep. If Stalag starts to go on the aggression, the risk of overextension is big, and then the bombers start to be effective again. Currently, the trades have been good, and Static is up in points. I'm not sure if Static actually needs to go anywhere at any time. Like, 500 points ahead will at least have a neutralization, even if Bravo gets captured here down south, because he has Charlie and Delta. And if he gets some CVs around the Taurs and gets them upvetted, one of them actually upvetted itself by getting a kill, then those Taurs, which already have insanely good base accuracy of 65, will get even better. So I think Static doesn't need to take any risks here right now, and I'm not sure if he has anything to go aggressive with.
Yeah, I just want to. I really wanted to see the BMP3s attack this middle citadel, which has been held by Fortitude Defenders as kind of a crucial attack point to Bravo. So if these pretty lightly armed National Guard scouts and MP patrols could be taken out at long range by the BTRs and BMPs, that could maybe give an additional defensible location for Stardeck, and also an additional area in which to start putting up these close range AA. But so far the Bradleys are coming in, so any push from Stardeck side seems to be a bit unlikely now, because most resources will have to be used to fight against this Apache Bradley push down to Bravo.
Yeah, 2 more tours coming in for holding the south. Eagles have to be careful there. Yeah, that one will most likely be dead. It survives for now. Can it get away? It actually can. Yeah, you don't want to lose the Eagles either. Those can be really helpful in scenarios where you have to turn off your other AA against the enemy uh, bombers because they have seed around. So then the Eagles at least can do some damage. Strela 10 M3s obviously can be really helpful in that regard as well. And yeah, it seems like Stardeck really absolutely set up for this match, having 2 cards of Taurs, most likely having at least 1 card, most likely 2 cards of Strela 10 M3s as well, just being ready for the Fortitude fans air spam. And we have this split here now with Charlie and Delta in the hands of Stardeck, and the real Charlie point here, because we have 2 Charlies on this map for some reason. And Fortitude fans having the south, but it's a 500 point advantage here for Stardeck, and 27 skills better into the late game, I would say, than 24th, so everything should be fine for the red side. You just have to be careful, obviously, at any point with Fortitude fans and the air tap, that you don't get caught out.
Yeah, we're seeing Chaparrals, Abrams, a 155 millimeter SPG. So Fortitude Fence is now officially as transitioning into a normal game after buying basically probably the entirety of their air tab. But so it's spot the enemy unit and then send the bombers supported by seed and rinse and repeat as long until Stardeck has less units than Fortitude. I think that's kind of looks to be the plan, but the grad is barely outside the supply range, so the grad is not reloaded. But the grad, which I believe they get 2 of them per card with 27th, is an excellent unit, because the positions down south are so tight, physically small areas, So the even with the elite MP patrols out there, they are not going to survive. The small squads will not be able to survive the grad shots if the grad shots, especially if the grad shots are followed up by a push from long range. BMP3s still possibly the best soft attack vehicle in the game. 5 front damage, two guns, including a fast firing 100 millimeter soft gun, and but the Fortitude has actually taken an interesting pick with the NG National Guard's TOWs, the 16 penetration TOW missiles, which you rarely see because they are so much worse than the ITOs, and the ITOs you also get a bunch of them. So, but the NG TOWs are spammable, and the actual killing capacity can be done by both the Abrams and even the National Guard Bradleys, as well as of course the aircraft. And this position here, even despite the 500-point difference, seems to be really. Oh, the mold gets a hit on the seed. That's a nice one. So a straight up contestation. All the aircraft, 4 of the Soviet aircraft, are all out here, taking out a Kiowa, driving out a Wild Weasel, and barely missing the Apache was actually landed, so they couldn't see the Apache. And this both of these players are kind of fully operational here, and I think this is really a Stardeck situation to start inching forwards with those E-class and with those Tors. And whenever the engagement happens, the engagement should be organized in such a way that the grads will fire at something, and then they are followed up by a long range engagement with all of these excellent long range units that the 27th gets.
Yeah, we see the BMP3s rotating around here now. The ADBVs rolling in, best tank on the battlefield. The M1IP is somewhat close, but the TADBV outclasses it a bit by penetration power. And obviously also having the long-range missile. MiG-23 is now coming in for the Kiowa. And for the Apache, getting the kill there. Might pay for it with its life, but that's an okay trade that you take. Chaparrals and Stingers should get a shutdown. Yes, they do. Phantom coming out again. We have MiG-29s in the rear. One more of them getting forced back, and being forced back over enemy territory means that your planes will just take the direct route home, which is not always the perfect one. So one of the MiG-29s goes down as well. The HE Phantom goes down as well, though, and that's one less strike aircraft, and every strike aircraft that you kill here as Stardeck is an important kill, and trading a fighter for it is an okay ratio. So one less plane to do a snowball with 4 Fortitude fans, and Fortitude fans still really trying to get there. Like, that's don't get mistaken by the slight lack of bombing runs lately. Fortitude fans still looking for this air as a victory condition here. And as we have now some M109s on the battlefield as well, what are they aiming at? Okay, they are aiming for the Medi, Scrut firing onto the center. So we will see some action here now in the center most likely as the BMPs get ready.
Yeah, the National Guard TOW is completely. I think it doesn't have anywhere near good enough stats to counter BMP3s, especially in numbers. So something needs to be sent down the middle, else the engagement will be completely in Stardeck's favor. We haven't seen the Strike Eagles yet. Might be that the Strike Eagles are not in the deck. Could be. I think the tactic that's been used by Fortitude here is to mass the cheaper bombers, and having 2 bombers attack at the same time, or having a bomber attack with the seed plane behind them. And even though the Strike Eagle is extremely powerful and has been receiving some price buffs, it's been getting cheaper slightly. Despite this, I think the tactic of massing the planes doesn't leave necessarily space for these 1 unit per card Strike Eagles. Massed ATGMs coming from Stardeck side and taking out the one of the many small recon units here, and the bombardment barely missing Stardeck's troops, and actually does do some damage on the leader.
Yeah, I think this there might be some Strike Eagles, at least one card of Strike Eagle on the deck, just being around for the moment when everything is dead on the like all AAs are killed. And that's why we still see the M109s focusing on Tors. Like, I feel like there are more valuable targets for most players in this game than those Tors in this moment with the M109s. Like, hitting some important pushing infantry, hitting the T80BVs, but Fortitude fans, being Fortitude fans, trying to target the Tors there first. Now aiming for where he believes the Tors to be, though they rotated around once more. Static really knowing that the AA needs to stay alive, focusing extra on that. And this push currently, it's not getting anywhere really, but it's taking out some of Fortitude fans' units, making Fortitude fans' position here a bit weaker in the middle, and forcing Fortitude fans to get more units there in the long run again. So, situation here still solid for Static. Conqueror's M's now getting involved. The M1 AP is in the center. Having to be really careful, as the BMPs and TADBVs really searching for an opportunity here now.
Yeah, the Recon Bradley and the command tank are moving into engage at max range, which is a pretty preferable engagement for Fortitude defense, I believe. But there's a Conqueror's M can actually penetrate the Abrams pretty well, even if the BMP3s can't. And
Strike Eagle going down. There we go.
Take it out.
He brought it out, and it got immediately shut down. It got one T80BV, and a MiG-23 paid for it as well. Seed getting one of the Tors, being activated a bit too early, but might get the White Weasel on the way out. Okay, no, it doesn't. But yeah, Strike Eagle down. So still, like, yeah, it was a bit costly here. The trades wasn't great point-wise, but taking out the Strike Eagle is a good knowledge that tool is off the menu. And you have more TADBVs per card than you have Strike Eagles per card, so card efficiency-wise and utility-wise, it's still an absolutely fine trade here for Static, getting rid of that important unit.
Yeah, very importantly, the BMPs are still alive in large numbers. They can be and will be repaired. They don't get first shot killed by anything here, I think. Even the Abrams at max range, the 5 armor is enough to keep them alive. And now engaging against these cheap ITO cars, but in Motorstrike Metis as well as the gunfire suppressing the ITO cars also only have 4 ammo per. And in another Wild Weasel coming out, they get numerous cards of the Weasels, right?
Yeah, I think it's only the 2s here that most likely in the deck though. And we got to kill another Tor with the Napalm Bomber right following it all up against the Tor. But we have a decent enough amount of Eaglas and Itos dying here to the Gruts. So the ground engagement here still not going great for Fortitude fans, even though some of the anti-air trades here have been solid. Toe Cobra is now trying to use the death of the Tors, but we still have Eaglas on the battlefield, and they get the Toe Cobras to fall back. F for Phantom trying to come in here now with strafing runs, and yeah, it's a classic Fortitude fans game here now. Tunguska coming onto the battlefield, 3 of them. We have still 2 Tors in the bottom. I wonder if Static will turn off the guns on the Tunguskas and just use them as missile AA, because the missile, you can't have them active. It's only the guns that are bound to the radar, which I feel like Legion should change that. But currently, you can use them as non-radar AA with just the missiles. And then they can still work fine and help you out dealing with the enemy aircraft.
Yeah, even though the gun AA, of course, if you want to keep them safe, you want to keep the guns off. But the guns with the 1 second aiming time and very good accuracy and very good damage are actually very good against siege planes and high ECM planes. The amount of rate of fire means that there's so many criticals that can happen when you're a plane. And just a single one of these criticals can have the plane rout or lose control or turn. Now another wave, 5 planes coming out with a Strike Eagle in the middle here.
And, yeah, another Strike Eagle number 2 is around. Tunguska is not on the battlefield yet, so TADBV goes down. So yeah, Static still stopped from pushing here. Static might want to wait for more of the AA to arrive here. MiG-29 coming around. Strike Eagle takes a missile. Is still alive though. Seat once more on the battlefield. The Tunguska has its guns turned off. Exactly, that's what you want to do. So that they still can use the missile. The Tunguskas in the rear haven't, but the Strike Eagle does miss for once. Tunguska does go down to the napalm though. So that's all pretty painful. Su-17 goes down as well. MiG-29 went down, and the planes on the side of Fortitude fans took damage but survived. The only victory here was the kill onto an M1IP leader. So at least one important unit taken off the battlefield on the blue side. The rest is all damage, which is helpful with only 18 minutes remaining on the timer. So the Strike Eagle will not get as many sorties left in this game, but it still leaves the Strike Eagle as a threat later on in this game again.
Yeah, now that we're 20 minutes in, the contestation of the middle here by Shalom, having the Spetsas Vedka and the Motostrelke there to just hold the side of the Citadel. Citadel is what I call this warehouse area in the middle, and just having some amount of a sliver of territory there means that the battles are going to be fought over the middle. And both of these divisions are especially good at long-range defense and ATGM fights. So in this case, having Stardeck having the points advantage means that the kind of natural,
great rocket artillery taking out all the Cobras on the ground. Fantastic, fantastic. Grad killing off both tow Cobras and the Kiowa whilst they were landed on the ground. That grad salvo was an absolute money shot, making the life of the AA and in general Stardex units here a lot easier from here on out. Not having to worry about the helicopters anymore, just having to focus on aircraft. Fantastic salvo there. Really, really well played. Punishing Fortitude fans for leaving those units too long on the same spot.
Yes, Petros Vedka in the middle gets taken out by artillery, which is a big deal. Petros Vedka are they're not special forces units, but they're special recon. They have the ground surveillance radar, and they're pretty good infantry units in their own right as well. So having the Petros Vedka out here means that Shalom is going to spot the enemy tanks on long range and also keep on having targets for their nonas. But that's why numbers, Rasvedka immediately moving front towards this small sliver of tree line, which will possibly allow the gunfire to keep coming from Stardeck's side. But yeah, so as I was saying, the natural position of defense with these two very good defensive divisions means that Fortitude Fence is going to have to rely on stuff like the helicopters, like the aircraft, to gain territory. And even though helicopters and aircraft can get you kills, it's very difficult to get enough kills to push enemy away from a sector. Stardeck is constantly reinforcing, and Stardeck will have a natural defender's advantage whenever Fortitude Fence is pushing here. And Stardeck has very smartly is keeping up this concave formation with these Motostrelki Metis, which means that the further a massive kill by the Su-17 AT plane, taking out another leader. That is what I'm talking about as a natural advantage. If that was a kill taken by Fortitude Fence, all of Fortitude Fence's forces would have to immediately push to exploit this advantage. But because there was a kill by Stardeck, Stardeck can just sit pretty here and wait a couple of minutes until another target comes up. But a push happening down south by the National Guard troops, supported by all of Fence's aircraft. You think this the aircraft troopers are trying to flank and get behind the backline position, and this engagement so far after this bombing campaign does look like it's working against Stardeck. But
yeah, the helicopter is super important here. If Stardeck's Heinz can do something here, the situation could be stabilized again. They find at least one unit here from the get-go. That is good. That is a good start, but they need to do more. Conqueror's M's, even one with a good fallback position behind that. I'm surprised that the Taurs died in the south. I guess they were left on with their radar on. Or did they... No, they actually flanked all the way north. Okay, yeah, he brought all his AA into one basket here up north. So that's why we don't see any Taurs in the south anymore. And that leaves the cav troopers here easy to flank, leaves the planes an easy way in with the bomb. And yeah, this is Fortitude Fans' way to victory here. If Fortitude Fans can get into this is an easy +2 or +4 if it captures it fully. and Static has to protect that zone. This is now
Yeah,
really Static under pressure, and the question on how he will handle this is the question between victory and loss in this game, I think. If this push here fails, it's kind of GG for Fortitude fans. If it goes through, Static will need to push on his with his northern forces back in, and that will be tough. So, yeah, absolutely game on the line here now. The Hinds go down. They did decent damage, but there's still a decent amount of infantry here left. Just not that many Bradleys and tanks. Like, that has me worried. The lack of Bradleys and tanks for Fortitude fans down here is real.
yeah. Stardeck is sending BMP3s, recognizing the attempt to go to the back line and engaging at a safe distance. The aircraft troopers are taken out pretty easily. The Hueys were spotted also, which gave more information for Stardeck to avoid this. There is some pretty good defense in depth with the two Conkers deep in the lines. The Conkers were able to, early on in the push, Bradleys accompanied them, but the Bradleys were destroyed and routed by the Conqueror's M's. So this has been a full infantry attack only with the. But now that the line is open, these MP patrols, these vetted up 30-point 5-man infantry squads are getting sent in here. But the Grad is opening and getting an excellent position
Strike
right
Eagle!
on the deployment.
Strike Eagle gets the kill onto the ADBV. Gets away from the Tors. Tunguska's left up north, so they can't help out right now. It's only the Tors. BMP3s pushing in. The military police leader on the brink of getting in, but all the infantry on the ground has died by now. So it's a tough run here. It's a super close
Massive
fight.
losses taken by the blue side, and now finally Stardeck's reinforcements are in here, and now with extended defenses in the back line here, with the BMP and Rasvedka, and understanding that there's going to be backline operations, this means that Stardeck has a very short and very efficient route to reinforce this. So as long as there are no tricks, there is no advantage for Fortitude Defense. There are a couple of minutes of time for Stardeck to fight this off, and I think the reinforcements plus the BMP3s here, or the ability to reinforce, gives. I think this is Stardeck's game so far.
Yeah, it's a +4 situation right now, but there's the Bradleys as a reinforcement are too far away, I believe, to save the military police leader. Stardeck having a TADBVK coming in. If the TADBVK could be sniped with maybe a plane or a helicopter, that would be big, but I don't think there's any helicopters, and I believe all the important planes are on reload right now as well. That could do the job. So I believe the TADBVK leader can get in here. The Eagles and Phantoms still going on some strafing runs here. But we have a super sneaky Stardeck BTR 80 in the rear of Fortitude fans, coming in with an RPG 26 unit, trying to get onto the enemy reinforcement line as well.
There are National Guard Abrams coming, a rare unit which is not often seen for some good reasons.
Yeah, it's the reservist on expensive units is quite punishing, though they are spammable and they are also a bit cheaper. And yeah, Fortitude fans just caring about things being a bit cheaper so that you can buy more planes. Bradley's trying to push north here as well, getting absolutely annihilated, even running into a Rajvetka's RPG-22. Like that Rajvetka killing off 2 Bradleys nearly on its own. Fantastic job done there. Tor coming around, dealing damage against the F-15. That F-15 will be out for a long while, and yeah, we are back into the zone in the south, fully back under control of Stardeck, and it's still 200 points different between the two, so Fortitude fans needs to get into some zone once more, and that will be tough from here on out.
Yeah, the attack on the north, the failed attack here that is still going on. Actually, getting the Abrams under fire from numerous sides with ATGMs. I think that kind of sealed the deal. The aircraft advantage has not manifest itself into any actual gains, and the fights on the ground have been offensive from Fortitude in a in a deck that doesn't really seem to be built for offensive fights.
Ooh, yeah, another M1IP here being really heavily under pressure by the BMP3s. They're doing a great job with their long range 2,800 meter fast flying ATGM, getting on top of the National Guard Abrams here as well, and they will get stunned down so quickly by it. One of them able to return fire though, dealing some damage, and the Strike Eagle is around again. Can the Tunguskas get some damage on top of that? Yes, they can. Strike Eagle drops on the TAD BVK though, getting the kill on the way out. Oh, that is so unfortunate for Static. Like, if Static could have pushed in that CV in the south, I think the GG would be imminent. With that kill and the M1 IP still alive in the north, there is some hope left here for Fortitude
Though,
fans. Static needs a
though
new CV immediately for the
sorry,
southern push.
yeah, though a second T80 BVK following up 2 kilometers behind, so most likely will be able to take down take the south. There's a Cobra out there, landed Cobra actually, but outside of that, even the Cobra can't really challenge tanks. So this Bravo seems to be solidly for Stardeck now.
Yeah, Tunguska pushing back the seat. It seems like 40 fans will get into Delta there, and then might be able to even push towards Charlie. The M1IP is so low, if Static can throw anything on that and kill it, that would be massive. But 40 fans might want to get a supply truck somewhere near that. Has an MP leader now coming in as well. Oh, Static's RPG-26 unit never unloaded in the rear. That could have been a massive snipe right now if it would have moved just a bit further and unloaded. It is a capture on the south right now for Static, right as the tank of Fortitude fans pushes in the north. So Fortitude fans will need even one more zone. ADBVK and BTR in the north as two CVs holding the line there for now, giving Static a +1 even. And Static is just rolling on further in the south, and that if the TADBVK can make it to Alpha and Foxtrot, that would be just so massive here right now for Static. No airplane around to stop it right now. Helicopters, all that. BMP3 actually killing the M109 down there, and this is a massive push for Static. This is GG, I think. The moment that tank touches Alpha, I don't think Fortitude fans can do anything anymore in the remaining time that he has to turn this game around.
Yeah, the tactics that Fence is applying here, having these almost blind mech pushes with tank concentrations and Bradleys, these things are valid. I personally like to play aggro 24th with aggro tanks supported by Strike Eagles and Apaches and such, but right here going kind of halfway in only having enough of these troops to start doing these attacks in the late game, and in the straight up late game, 24th is the lower tech. Currently, it is the lowest tech American division, and 27th is absolutely the highest tech Soviet division. So in this case, the tech advantage of the expensive units and of the absolute late game really is just leaning into Stardeck here, and the air advantage of Fence should have gotten a bunch of kills in the mid game and had the snowball start happening way earlier. The air snowball happens by taking out expensive key units such as the BMP3s, the 80s, and such. And as long as Stardeck could keep these units alive, the aircraft could keep on coming and coming and coming. But but in the late game, no amount of aircraft can destroy the multiple cards of BMP3s and massive amount of T80s. Every sortie, there's more to target and it's less valuable. So the air rush is an air rush because it needs to work in the early to mid game.
Yeah, we have military police leaders actually going into a Huey now to try to capture Charlie with that. But we have the M1IP rolling south, but yeah, there's so much there that can kill it. So, and it is down to 1 hit point. Like, anything even looking slightly harsh on it will destroy this M1IP leader. And it is the hopes and dreams here of Fortitude fans to get that through. Another M1 IP leader being called in, but with 4 minutes left, it might just barely make it in, and the BMP3 gets the kill there. So, yeah, even if the Huey leader gets into the northern zone, it will just stop the tick, and it's 500 points this difference by now. Static with a really, really clever and well played through counter push here in the south, punishing Fortitude's fans overextension, and yeah, punishing the airplay in general really, really well. I feel like a lot of players will be happy seeing this air bully being bullied, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if Fortitude fans will change strategy for game number 2, or if we will just see still more of the same of the classic Fortitude fans air spam.
No, I think Stardeck here. Stardeck has shown capacity to understand what Fortitude is doing and play around that. So would be interesting to see Fortitude fans maybe try try something new, try something unexpected, something that Stardeck can't counterplay and can't plan against. But do you know, is Fortitude capable of doing that? Do you think Fortitude has other strats?
He has some ground rushes as well. His whole setup is usually a lot of aggression, but he for sure can do it with ground units as well. I'm surprised we didn't see a ban on 27th, by the way, as if there is a division Static is known for, it is 27th. So leaving that open, I believe, is a mistake. We'll see if it will be left open in game number 2 as well, and Static, if Static will be able to play it again, because I believe if Static is allowed to play it again, he will play it again. And yeah, at the same time here, we have still a +1. The CV in the north actually died before it captured anything. So yeah, 42 fans playing on here right now is just for the fields. And sometimes you need a bit of time to recollect what happened in a game as well. So you might want to play on for that. Just drawing it out a bit longer, whilst maybe already planning out the next game in a tournament series like that. Like that's what, for example, a lot of StarCraft players that don't surrender are known for to do in tournament games. Just like playing on to, first of all, like keep in this just playset, and also yeah, getting ready for game number 2, game number 3, whilst you're at it. And yeah, this is going to be 1 minute and 30 seconds of just fighting here, which worked out. The south has been captured again, but at the same time, TADB will come in the north as well, so no full-on capture here. And yeah, the aircraft did stay alive. Like, Fortitude fans didn't play badly here. It was like he didn't mess up at any points, like still having a strike around, but Static never allowed him to get any snowball going, and that is just the key part if you play against a playstyle like this. And yeah, never losing your cool. Like, aircraft can be frustrating, and if you get overeager or you get too frustrated, it can punish you hard, but Static never did, and here we go. GGVP for Static in game 1 in a really well played out game.
Yes. But I personally will admit I am happy to see Stardeck winning this one. I think the reign of the A10 rush has been brutal and cruel and unending, some would say. And the only thing that's been keeping the ladder free from air and helicopter aggression has been the goodwill of the player base, and partly the fact that people often get bored playing those tactics. But
Well,
yeah,
there
they are
are some
unfortunately very
counterplays as well. Like, Static, for example, is one of the believers that the A10 opener is annoying, but actually punishable. Like, that's what his opener tried to achieve there as well. And I mean, he did it. It is uh, not easy to do, but like the level of airplay that Fortitude fans showed here is also better than most other people can do there. Like, uh, don't be fooled. Like, there is different skill levels in those air openers as well. Not every average Joe with an A10 plays it as well as Fortitude fans. That's why he is that high on the ladder. Yes, it is annoying and yes, it is cheesy, but there is different skill levels in cheese as well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see what will happen here in game number 2, and if Static can punish Fortitude fans' air spam as well, or if we will see something completely different here. So,
And next game, sorry.
yeah. quick break, and then we will be back with game number 2. So here we return, game number 2, starting up 1-0, and we have an airport map with NATO versus NATO action, and another setup of lots of helicopters and stuff from 42 Defense against an 11th ACAF play out of Stardeck, so that is going to be interesting. And yeah, if you want to support these guys, you can do so via matcherino. Big thanks to Wamsgans here coming in lately with another $10 on the matcherino page. And yep, we are up to $321 already in prize pool, which is great. Thanks for all the support, guys. Let's see if we can push that further. All the support is really much appreciated. And yeah, also, if you haven't followed Chloride's channel yet, you absolutely should, guys. You absolutely should. Check out the Twitch channel in the chat right now as well. Yeah, let's get into this second UK versus 11th CAF matchup here. Let's see what these two players can do with this.
Yeah. So Second United Kingdom is a light air mobile special forces and air centered infantry division. It's got a lot of good, fast transported and affordable infantry. It's got probably the best special forces in the game in the form of the SAS, to the point where the standard second UK opener has been to buy 3 to 6 SAS and just then just roll with it, because they're so good. This thing, they very crucially, the SAS get stingers. They have very good anti-air capacity and their forward deployment. So when you so whatever you are playing, you're always going to have a nice little shield against early helicopter pushes, as well as low flying aircraft, and even ability to do good damage against high flying aircraft. And following this up is the 6 helicopter kill squad. All of these gazelles only have 12 rockets each, but they are easily they're fast and they're cheap, so you can easily go and fire all of your rockets and immediately go and rearm, with the AT being provided by some Rover Milan 2 missiles, of course, amazing penetration, etc., etc. The problem with second UK is that it has a very weak tank tab with only Challenger 2s, as in very small amounts, and the 11th Horse has a massive tank tab filled with M1A1 Abrams, as well as all the good American stuff, including iHawks, iHawks, TOWs, even the LRS Special Forces Recon units,
What
and
is
the most busted unit in the game, which is the BGS Trife, aka the Small Girl Squad.
Yeah, MP5's there. And what is interesting here by Mr. Stardeck is the Fliegerfaust decision making here. Instead of the Stingers, we see the cheaper, more spammable Fliegerfaust as the AA, and they can do good against helicopters. And they also can do decent against any Harriers, because, yeah, they only do 4 damage, but Harriers only have 8 hit points. So 2 hits of those still do the kill. So that might be the thinking here behind the relatively trash, but also really cheap League of Elves spam. And like, they have decent range against helicopter. They have pretty bad accuracy, but if you get enough of them out there, that doesn't matter. Something will stick and blow the enemy up. So you just need to get enough down range. And with having more man pads, it also means killing all of them with bombers. Not as easy as with stingers. So yeah, it seems like the AA setup here really solid from Static. Pivots coming around as well, as to be expected against the Fortitude Fenced opener. And yeah, here we go. Will be really interesting. 4 SAS on the battlefield, 1 challenger from the get-go. Question is, I think there's still room for planes though, isn't it?
There is. I mean, the SAS are very expensive, and even opening with a Challenger tank is a big hit into an opener when on second UK. But the planes that second UK gets are actually pretty affordable and good. The Phantom F3 fighters with no guns but excellent missiles are like 180, 170 something. The Harrier bombers, which are slow and but have massive bomb loads, are 150 points each. So if you save 40 points of your opening pot, after in the first minute buy, you can buy 2 Harriers. And at that point, if your enemy doesn't have something that can stop them, those Harriers carry way, way, way more bombs than 150 point planes generally do. But but we're seeing actually a pretty conservative defensive positioning with the SAS. This is the amount of infantry in this